I'm ready when you are. Are we live?
We're live.
All they do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All they do is talk, talk.
Bam.
Bam!
David Loki, you said we should reduce the song, but it actually gives you time to fluff your hair and put your makeup on and to wait for people to arrive. We're waiting for the talkers to arrive and join us. Welcome, talkers, to Talk, the show with David Leofe over there and Shanti Niven. And tonight we're discussing a very weird topic, aren't we, Loaf?
It could be a conspiracy theory. It has been said.
We might be doing a little brainwashing of our own.
Maybe.
Tonight's topic is brainwashing, and brainwashing happens in various ways, but I think what we're really specifically going to be referring to is the sort of brainwashing that happens through media, how we are brainwashed and conditioned into believing certain things depending on what we listen to, what we receive through our senses, through the media. And the second thing is those conspiracy theories that will keep cropping up, and some of them are kind of fascinating, aren't they, David?
There are some really interesting ones out there.
Right.
You know,
yeah,
I was going to say that conspiracy theory and brainwashing is a matter of what you're willing to believe. And once you believe that, it's a matter of breaking that conspiracy, which may not even be close to being true, but you will go ahead and believe it because mainly you want to believe it. And that's the first part of brainwashing.
I love conspiracy theorists, and I'll tell you why. I think it's great when you get people who just said, unless I can actually feel it, touch it, see it, hear it, whatever, I'm not going to believe it. Whereas conspiracy theorists pose the question, what if?
Well,
the only time I find them a little wacky is when they get this really weird idea and then they hold on to that like it's absolute truth, instead of using the two most magical words, which are what if. So we said, what if the moon landing never happened? What if that was a whole conspiracy by the American government, was filmed at Hollywood? What if? It's a good question to ask, don't you think? And we question things instead of blindly believing whatever is fed to us.
It is, but if you didn't believe anything, I mean, you'd be dead, because I would believe that just because I burned my hand on the candle, I won't believe that it would burn my foot. So we have to believe some things, right? We can't just say outright, hey, I don't believe anything, I don't believe that the candle will burn my foot.
The cynics are the people who have to have, there has to be empirical evidence. There has to be evidence that they can actually, that's tangible, that is visible, that they can see and touch and feel and whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
The normal sort of scientific route of something that is observable and repeatable, right? So that's generally some people are. They're just highly cynical about everything. But I think life requires a certain amount of belief, and I think that people like Albert Einstein had these way out ideas, actually going right back to Copernicus and Galileo and all these people. They had these wild ideas that had people of the day saying, oh, you guys are crazy. Like, the earth cannot be round. That's impossible.
Galileo was imprisoned and never pardoned till like 2012 or something like that. Galileo, because he believed that the earth was round and the stars and astrological studies that he did. So it was very interesting that things like that, are considered conspiracy theories, but actually come out to be true. And at the end, we have a game called Conspiracy or Not. And I have a little treat I put together for all of us.
He's going to try and fool me with his conspiracy theory. So the game at the end is going to be, we're going to share a few stories or hypotheses, theories, whatever, that may be urban legends, maybe conspiracies, may be true. And we're going to ask you, our audience, what you think. Is it true or is it not true?
And not true.
Oh, stop it. Now, I tend to stick to the truth, of course, I like stuff because I think truth is stranger than fiction very often. What do you think, David?
I think that truth is stronger than fiction.
Stranger.
Stranger than fiction. Well, that's true. It is, because it's hard to believe the truth at times when it's at some large capacity. I mean, let's look at some of the things that are going on today. You know, I mean, here we are. 2020 has been a conspiracy theory just in itself, I think.
Well, that's it. If somebody had told me what was going to be happening, I would have found it hard to believe. And then what's really confusing is you've got people on the one hand saying this is, we're all going to die from COVID and we got to wear masks and we got to practice social distancing. And then some people say it's a whole big scam. Some people believe that this is a whole thing to fix or rig the elections. There's so many different points of view. Eventually you find yourself like sitting at a tennis match.
Right. What do I believe?
You know what's so cool? Michael Kelly says, David's hair is looking especially awesome tonight. I agree.
Jeffrey Lee says the earth is round. My brother's here too, by the way.
The earth is round, Jeffrey Lee says. No,
Yep.
he said there are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true, and the other is to refuse to believe what is true. That was by Søren Kierkegaard. And I think isn't that the case? You've got two types of people, right?
Right. You have
Isn't human nature that whatever we hold fast to, whatever we believe, we'll hang on to for dear life. Like, we don't want to be proved wrong once we've made a statement. It's like once it's come out of our mouths, we have to hold on to that belief no matter what comes up.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things. Like, here's an interesting one. The respectivity of the masses is very limited. Their intelligence is small, but the power of the forgetting is enormous. And consequences of these facts, all effective propaganda must be limited to a very few points and must harp on these slogans until the member of the public understands what you want him to understand by your slogan. So he's saying a slogan would be this. You know who that was?
Who was that?
Adolf Hitler.
Right. Okay, so here's something I would like to say about this whole thing. So propaganda, brainwashing, pretty much in the same category, works on people's fears. And marketing today works on the same principle. So we look at a person's fears, fear of lack, fear of whatever it may be, and we work on those fears in order to sell our ideas or products. Right, David? Could I have your eyeballs' attention, please? They're all over the place. It's like... Hello, everybody who's joined us. Jessica Lynn, I'm so happy that you joined us. Okay.
Jessica Lynn's with us.
Yeah. So let's focus a little bit on what we're saying right now. I think that number one, it's based on catering to people's fears. Do you agree with that?
I think catering to people's fears is most likely one of the most ways to definitely get people to, and it's used all the time in marketing, advertising. There's different varieties of things that people are doing in order to encourage a belief of one system, of one belief. So, and we have a few going on. Wow.
I know. How did 10 minutes just go? Pew!
I know, right?
Talk with the handsome, dashing, and ever so beautifully hair coiffed David Lofi and myself, Shanti Niven. Tonight's subject matter is conspiracy theories, brainwashing, propaganda, all those kind of things. Wondering why it is we believe what we believe, and why do people in America, for example, at the moment, people are believing either one way or the other, and everybody's fighting. We want to stop that. We want to say, wouldn't it be great to share our beliefs, differing beliefs, and expand our worldview instead of being so limited in our belief? If you're watching on YouTube.
That's what I was going to say. It was something that's interesting is YouTube.
Yeah. Right. Subscribe, share, and please go to our realtalktalk.com website and register. Just click the join button and join us so that you can get access to all sorts of wonderful tools and special invites to our social events and training, free training.
I thought it was interesting. Or I didn't realize you were still in the middle of the promo. You were kind of going off.
Oh my gosh.
In the middle of the promo, but hey, I thought, oh, wait here.
Me of going off. That is absolutely amazing.
Well, I think that it's interesting that Facebook now is like, they're like, hey, we're going to squash conspiracy theories, but they seem to be squashing certain theories. I don't know if it's conspiracy or not, or, if it's proven, then okay. But if it's not proven, so it's very interesting what's kind of going on with all of the social media companies and what they're doing. And also just in the news, the media's, almost proliferating some of these conspiracy theories.
Right.
So interesting. But
I think here's a little example I was using with you earlier on. When I first came to America, obviously I had learned about America. I do history, learned a little bit about America, about the Civil War. I had a bit of background, but now I have an interest in learning about this country and about its politics. And because obviously there's going to come a time when I become a citizen and I will vote. So let me learn about the politics. When you skip through the news media, the different types, the CNN and the NBC, the Fox, all the different things, the different channels here, you might as well be on different planets. It is so confusing. It's like, wait a minute. It is really interesting. And I eventually came to understand that whatever news channel you listen to would be how you would be indoctrinated and brainwashed. And that would be your source. And so if you decide you're going to watch this channel, and let's say that is a right
that
wing
is your source of news. We don't provide news.
right. And it's so weird how each bends the same facts to suit their political agenda. It's just so interesting.
Yeah.
So as an outsider, I could see this very clearly. And I often ask myself this question: what if we are all being fooled? What if we are all pawns in this great game of chess, and it's all a power struggle? Maybe there is the Illuminati out there, and we're all just a bunch of sheep, as Michael puts it. There's a book actually that talks about we're the sheep shepherds.
Yeah.
Right. We're either the sheep or the sheepdogs or the shepherds. Right.
Athena Venus says it's called control. I think that in regards, some of the news companies are actually losing their viewers. They're losing a lot of viewers because of that. A popular one that was popular for many years because their conspiracy theories turn up to be kind of lies, or not the truth. And I think that distrust for people going, why am I watching this?
Right. Well, I think that when something is proved to be false and you have lied to me, I'm not going to trust you anymore. I've noticed David Lofi has frozen right now, so I'm going to have to carry on talking. Alicia Anderson says, hi guys, in that aspect, no matter what your beliefs are, please pray for the Toledo, Ohio area and the family of fallen police officer Anthony Dia, whose end of watch was 7/4/2020. Yes, thank you, Alicia, for sharing that with us. I hope that David Lofi's face is going to move soon, because I'm otherwise on my own.
Please.
But I wanted to share again that we are talking about conspiracy theories and brainwashing. Sorry, David, you froze. You went. I think.
Like that? You froze.
I think, no. I think there was somebody who didn't like what you were saying, so they froze you. They just went, psh, zap.
They did not want me to get the truth out.
The truth, huh? Truth is subjective.
It's
Whatever
the
you
truth.
believe.
I only speak the truth. I'm a truth seeker.
Yeah, me too, actually. I would say, okay, so let me tell you a little story, Lofi, at risk of you telling me I speak too much. As you know, I'm a teacher, really, by trade. I'm a trainer. I train people. And at one stage I was training people. I was training kids, and I was training a bunch of 10 to 12-year-olds at a school, but proving a system that, David Lofi, would you please put your popcorn away? Stop it.
I'm just listening. I'm listening.
Athena Venus says it's called control, mind control.
I said that already.
So on a Friday, I would get these 10 to 12-year-old boys, 15 of them, and I would be teaching them, but I was teaching them without the benefit of any pens, papers, recording devices. Long story short, I did a class where I spoke about possibilities and different things, and I said to them, I need you to go and collect interesting facts, stats, and information, and come back and share it under the title of, did you know? And I said, for example, did you know that when people die, their hair and nails continue to grow? Now, as many of you know, that is an urban legend. It's actually not the truth, but a lot of people believe it to be so. And David's frozen again. But I shared this with these kids and they believed me without any doubt, without question. The next Friday came along and they all shared their did you know facts and information. And it was really interesting. They shared things like, did you know that every bar of chocolate you eat has some insect legs in it, etc., etc., etc. David's face is so funny, isn't it, in this position? And then when they finished, I said, good job, boys. Great job. Did you know that last week I lied to you? David, your face froze like this. I lied to you.
Do I
And
have popcorn in my teeth?
these 15, shut up. These 15 kids looked at me in total shock. Why would a teacher lie? And I said, the reason why I did is to prove a point. You see, when somebody's in authority, we don't question what they say very often as kids, right? And oh dear, I'm getting a thing to say our meeting's going to end in 10 minutes. So, well, what? What is going on today? I'm starting to believe there's a conspiracy.
There's a conspiracy theory going on here.
There's something weird. They're trying to stop us from talking.
Why would our meeting end in 10 minutes?
I don't know.
Is it Facebook or is it?
It's Zoom. They're trying to zoom us out of here, David. Anyway, the point that I made is that sometimes we take it, when somebody who has some authority and says it with confidence, we take it to be fact, but we should always check and verify, right? Hi, Daniel.
Can you go to the settings real quick?
Okay, Greg Crane says a college history professor of mine would say perception is reality. Okay, settings, yes, and
then just check to see if there's a timer set or something on there.
no, there isn't.
That's very weird. This is possibly a conspiracy theory.
People do not want us to talk about
They
conspiracy.
don't want us talking.
Okay, folks, if we disappear by any chance, do not go away. We will be back.
We'll be back. We'll get back on. So I don't know. I don't know if it's in Bakersfield or Facebook, but my stuff keeps freezing too. So Ellie's saying that her stuff's freezing too on this.
I
So
literally just got a sign saying your show will end in 10 minutes. I mean, but why?
why? Why 10 minutes?
No.
They know our show's an hour long. It's a conspiracy theory. They're not letting us get to the game because tonight
Because of what we're going to share at the end of the show.
I've got some stuff to share.
We're sharing something that could be potentially dangerous, and maybe they've got wind of this. We should never have discussed it earlier online.
Possibly. That is actually part of my stream here, is the fact that they are listening. I think this calls for me maybe to go into covert mode. Should I go to covert mode?
Put your mask on, David, immediately. I think it's your face that's causing the freeze.
It's a very good possibility.
Your face is cracking the screen. Okay.
We're safe now. All right, let's do this.
Okay, guys, we are not.
The timer should stop.
I'm actually not joking. I'm not joking when I tell you that I got this pop-up that I've never had before at all. I have a Zoom. We have the ultimate program that you've got that you can speak for unlimited period of time and whatever. And I get this notification that this is going to end in 10 minutes. So who knows? It's like the world ending. How many times has the world ended, folks?
This year, we've had UFOs. We've had murder hornets. We've had a killer virus.
Right.
Riots, looting.
I don't know what that's got to do with conspiracy theories. So maybe unless they didn't happen, we've just been shown images.
Well, not conspiracy theory. I'm just saying that's what I mean.
Brian's
Murder hornets conspiracy theory? Is the UFO conspiracy theory?
Zoom is worried that you'll raise the theory that everything is monitored by China. I've heard that.
That's interesting. That's a new one. They're talking about taking out TikTok because TikTok's owned by China, the CCP.
Well, I'll be very ticked off if they take TikTok off.
If they take TikTok, India already did. They said nope.
I like TikTok.
And Huawei is
Daniel,
using their phones and the DTE.
is ending in 10 minutes. Well, it might be for us. Okay, so what time did that
Maybe. We're gonna be at the end in 5 minutes. The old ends in 5 minutes.
David, you've got your silver foil hat on.
I should be safe.
Yeah, you should be safe. Okay, so let's discuss some of the conspiracy theories. Guys, what are the conspiracy theories you've heard? I remember, for example, the Elvis is not dead theory. How many of you heard that one, right?
He's
And
not
I
dead.
believe, okay, well, I believe that conspiracy theories have their root in the fact that fans don't want to believe that someone that they love is gone, right? Like I just won't believe it if you die. I won't.
Who, me?
Yeah, I'm not going to.
I'm never dying.
If you die, it's not
I've got a silver hat.
Okay, so the first thing that has to be in place for a conspiracy theory like that is that, you know, somebody dies. Tupac, Elvis, Michael Jackson, even people didn't want to believe he died, right? And the first thing is really just the love of that person. They don't want to believe that it's possible. And then they start finding evidence to support that belief. What other conspiracy theories have you heard of? And talkers, share yours, please.
Conspiracy theories that I've heard of, that our phones are all trackable. Not just
You should
it's
know
not
that.
just the Chinese who are chiming in on what's going on in your life.
Well, you should know, Mr. Cybersecurity master's degree and whatever.
I do know,
You
and
do
I
know?
have an answer for that.
And what is it?
We'll find out in the game.
We'll find out in the game if we're allowed to continue talking about such a sensitive.
No, we can't ever make it to that. But that's one. I mean, Hitler's still alive. You know, they moved all the Germans from Auschwitz to where
I'll have to use yours.
you may have to use mine.
We're back.
We are back.
We have no idea what just
I'll
happened.
have to try to figure out what you did.
It's my fault. It is my fault.
This is not a conspiracy theory. This is
Now we have got two shows to stitch together. Eric's gonna have to stitch them together for YouTube.
we're gonna have to stitch them.
And all the chat that we had is gone.
The chat's gone. Everybody we were chatting to. Well, I think it's on Facebook. Just our chat.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Welcome back, folks. We're not sure.
yeah, the chat
They make-
gone when we. Oh, you know, we should have done. All right.
Okay. So now we are going to try and have an uninterrupted finale to the show. We have another 35 minutes to go, and hopefully we won't get disconnected. I think
Conspiracy theory, man. I'm telling you,
they're afraid of what we're going to say because we're going to reveal some home truths here.
some real truths.
Right.
There's a number of conspiracy theories. There, you know, that we never went to the moon, but that's been disproved. They actually have different scientists from around the world have actually caught the objects left on the moon. You know, so
Oh, really? Oh,
have we
that's-
been to Mars?
Why
the
was
rover?
that theory ever put forward? What was the whole point of that?
Well, part of it was that they had back then, in order to collect the data of the video that they collected, they would have to have this hard drive that weighed, you know, a ton, and they would have to take that hard drive and get it off the planet and get it back to Earth.
And then there was
But
something
yet,
else.
and some of the disbelief of that is that, you know, how do you get that off the planet? You know, well, the moon doesn't have that much gravitational pull. In fact, you have to weight yourself down. So it wouldn't, even if it weighed 6,000 pounds, it didn't weigh 6,000 pounds in space on the moon.
There was another thing about that theory, and that was the fact that it was this whole race, obviously, with the Russians, and they were kind of needing that moon landing to draw everybody together. And the question after that was, why did we go to the moon and not go back? Like, we should have been back and forth. And
Well, there were actually multiple Apollo space flights, and Apollo 11 was the moon, right? So I think that I think that's
really,
what?
where's our chat? I don't know where everybody is. I don't know if
It's-
anyone can see us.
Invite Ellie back. Is she back?
Yeah, she's back.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
The nationwide shortage is because the government wants to microchip us and make everything we do traceable. Well, everything's traceable now with your phone.
I want to ask this question to our members. What, you know, that there's this whole thing of, you know, the mark of the beast and getting the 666 on your hand or your forehead and whatever. If they wanted to microchip you and put a chip in your hand or your head, would you, because let's face it, that's one way that we would stop people, would stop fraud, and we'd stop all sorts of other things. You'd be able to get people's information directly. It would help crime. There's a whole lot of benefits. However, would you have a chip implanted in your head or hand, David?
No way. Yeah, well, that's interesting because do you remember the bill that they tried to pass last year? It was called HR 6666.
Wow.
And what it was they were going to go door to door and actually check to see if everybody's temperature was good. And then if they did, and if somebody was in the house and they only had one bathroom, they're going to pull that kid out or adult out or whoever had tested for this. They actually started in Ventura, and then they denied it. The guy went on the news, said they were going to do this, and then the guy turned around and denied it. And then it kind of got squashed. I actually have a video. I screenshotted the video with the software I have
Really?
to keep it, but I was like, hey, what's the deal here? And then they, even the sheriff came out. Well, no, we weren't planning on doing that. But the guy just said it the day before, and they had passed this HR 6666, which was interesting. Now, to get a chip in you, yeah, I mean, there's the conspiracy that if you do the injection with antivirus, right, that they're going to give you not antivirus, what do they call it?
The vaccine.
Vaccine. The antivirus.
You know
so
why?
they give you the vaccine and
Mr. Computer guy, you're just thinking about antiviruses because of computers.
viruses, antivirus software. No, the vaccine, they give you the vaccine, and then the vaccine, they're going to go ahead and inject this tracking thing in you, whatever. I mean, there's tons of different ways they could have done that before. But there's been a lot of studies on probes and things different into your mind. Even Elon Musk is working on a project in which these small things will fit into your brain, but it will be an extension of your body,
Right.
just like anything, your phone or anything else.
Now,
and
I just want to quickly interrupt 1 second, because I want to ask talkers, please share what you know of, the conspiracy theories you've heard of, or the conspiracy theories that you even believe. I posted something in joke about the contrails, and some people believe it's chemtrails, and I actually had a member jump all over me and tell me it's absolutely chemtrails. We had a meeting and we're thinking about doing an interview, and he's got thousands and thousands of people listening to his show, David Snedeker, and he absolutely 100% believes that there is something to that. So carry on, David. I apologize for.
Yeah, that's another interesting one. Chemtrails. A lot of people believe that. What about 9/11? A lot of people believe that it was put off by, the George Bush team, and they planned it and everything else. And they have pictures from the Pentagon that the two engines don't match and the wheel carriage doesn't match that type of jet. And, so I don't know. I'm not sure if I believe that or not. Brian Liggett says, look at a UPC barcode. The lines that are used for alignment, first, middle, last, use the value 6. Pick up something in the barcode, food, office supply, etc., and look at it. I think it's actually 6 is for America. So the barcode has something like the first numbers have to do with which country they come from.
Yeah, but the point is you've got a 666 and a barcode. So if we eventually land up with a barcode on our head or hand, we are in trouble. Right, David, you're supposed to be saying something.
I am, but this one says 7816. So, but maybe it's from China. So 78. But you're on Talk with the lovely, wonderful, very intelligent Deshanti Niven.
Deshanti
With me, David Lofi, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube channel. This one's going to be split in half because possibly a conspiracy theory. On top of that, don't forget to sign up on realtalktalk.com, where you can have some tools. We're building new tools into that. And you'll be able to go ahead and join our group. We have a group on Thursday nights right now for the first 3 weeks of the month. We have
Creative Minds is on Thursday, huh?
This week is Creative Minds. Last week was Speakers Gym. The next week we're going to be talking about business. We're talking about actually specifically we're going to be talking about marketing, demographics, things like that, how to progress your business in the digital age. Alicia Anderson says Epstein didn't kill himself. I mean, that's pretty questionable there.
That is an interesting theory, because I do find that extremely odd, his whole suicide. It is almost, and let's face it,
Mhm.
some conspiracy theories, there's that bit where there's smoke, there's fire. You do have to dig a little deeper, because how do they, with such a high profile prisoner, it's just coincidental that the camera's not working, the guards have fallen asleep.
Right? And both guards fell asleep.
Right.
They're fired. By the way, they got fired. So they just kind of disappeared as they got their money. I mean, as they just got fired. Nobody saw their bank accounts. Nobody saw anything else. They're living on an island, Epstein's Island.
See, Brian is-
Anyways, QAnon is JFK Jr. I'm not sure if that's true, but do you know what QAnon is, or Q?
well, JFK Jr.
Mhm.
died in an aircraft crash, right?
No, I think that no. There's no. Yeah. Well, once Robert, yeah, JFK Jr. I think died in an aircraft crash, but there's a Robert. I think they mean Robert Kennedy, which is like the son of Robert Kennedy's son is actually
Right.
would be the. So I guess it'd be Robert Jr.
I think a lot of people didn't want JFK to have
RFK or something.
died because, well, he was just so good looking and charming and dashing, and all the women were so in love with him. And
Yeah, there's a lot of things that go on with that whole thing. The whole Bay of Pigs, Cuba. They back in the 60s, they actually created and this comes from this is released information, released documents. They actually released documents that show that they created a false or a fake war, so they could kind of get Cuba into a war and get the public to stand behind them, which led to even sinking, possibly making a false ship they were going to sink, like that they're going to have refugees on, which consisted of possibly even having live people on it. So they're going to sink this thing and with these refugees. So that's a true story of our own government.
I have
doing
a
that.
very itchy nose, and I have a conspiracy theory about
And
it.
that's probably one of the reasons it's believed that why Kennedy was possibly offed. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've been there to where Kennedy was shot. They made a turn down another street that they weren't going to. So I mean, look, the guy
There's a
knew
lot
that
of
he was going to be
questions.
over
There's
there.
a lot of questions about that. And then
Yeah.
Janelle's talking about Jim Jones brainwashing many people. So true. There's been so many of those cult leaders that do that. And also remember Charles Manson. There have been so many of those. And that is, again, capitalizing on people's fears and wanting to belong and fit in. And then Michael says, yeah, now Giselle is threatening to spill it all. So I wonder how long until she commits suicide.
Suicide. Right?
I know, right? I mean,
that ought to be an interesting one.
well, no, well, not interesting. I mean, it's just there's going to be a lot of powerful people that are going to be fingered. I mean, what's the word for an expression? There are going to be a lot of.
Prince Andrew, that's the name.
Well, there are going to be what's
They're
the expression, guy? Fingered, not
they're
fingered.
gonna-
What is the expression? That are
Well,
going to be.
supposedly now Prince Andrew is going to be questioned by the FBI, and the those English people have agreed to say, yeah, let's do it.
Well, this could be the end of the whole the royal family. This really could. It's and then just whole interesting with Harry and Meghan separating and doing their thing, right?
I don't think it'd be the end of the royal family. I think because really the royal family, I mean, it's really for tourism. They don't want to lose their tourism, but what could be then for tourism is not allowing Americans to go to Europe if they're not vaccinated. Now I heard that's a possibility that they're
I've heard
talking
that
about.
Europe no
that's
longer exists. I've heard that Europe no longer exists. It's just a figment of our imagination.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah,
We're not going over there. So.
Alicia says, I've actually seen posts that Giselle died from coronavirus, but they were posted before the supposed death date.
That what?
And the next thing we'll know is that there'll be somebody that looks like Giselle. There'll be her body double or something. There's going to be something. There's something.
Well,
I can just
the
tell.
thing it says that rather the FBI file on him and Biden, on who's him. Supposedly, Lolita Express.
Daniel Lofi says it's not suicide. It's called Clinton side.
Oh, Yeah, Clinton's side.
If
That's a
Brian-
very good possibility.
Okay, but
Bill
Brian,
Clinton flew on their plane 26
Brian,
times.
Brian, there is an
That's
expression
not
about
conspiracy.
when you. I don't want to use that term again because it seems rude now. But what is the term when you
Get
implicate
fingered.
someone? Okay, shut up, David. Alicia Anderson says, I'll find them
They-
and post them after the live. So what we want you to do is after the live, we want you to share your interesting conspiracy theories. There are many, many interesting ones. And do you believe them? And some of them may actually be true.
He's going to post them after the live show.
All right. Do you
Yeah,
remember
put 'em in
story
there.
about-
Talk about him.
do you remember the story about DB Cooper?
I know the name. I don't know the
Guy
story.
who jumped out of the airplane and disappeared with all these.
Oh, yeah. With the money. Mm-hmm.
Right. And there's been a lot of theories about where is DB Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
That would be such an interesting mystery to solve, right?
Supposedly, I watched something on it where he died of old age.
Oh,
But the family knew and had the money and everything else. And they told the story where the plane was, everything. And I think they actually may have found parts of the plane, maybe.
right.
That it didn't,
They've never found
or
him.
parts of the parachutes. I'm sorry, not plane.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Parachute.
that carried
Where he
on.
landed. Mhm.
Right. So, right. No, that's exactly. But wouldn't it be fascinating to know? And then what about the Great Train Heist? There are so many
Yeah.
mysteries that we still don't understand. Even if you think about it, things that are sitting right in our face, like how the pyramids were created, and all these different
That's-
mysteries. Have you ever heard? And I want to know if this is the truth. That if you put a razor blade, a blunt razor blade, into the central part of a pyramid overnight, it's sharpened. The next day it'll be absolutely sharp. Have you ever heard that theory?
I
And that you
haven't
could
heard that
actually
one.
recreate a pyramid and put your razor blade into the middle at a certain point and actually have the same effect. I want to know from our listeners, viewers, have you heard that? Have you tried it? Does it work?
Yeah. Michael Kelly says, New York Ghislaine Maxwell was a British socialite who was accused by many women by helping procure the underage sex partner of Jeffrey Epstein. Right, we all know that has been arrested. The FBI says, and actually went to New York. Did you know that her father mysteriously died at sea?
Right. And he was also supposed to be a con man and a crook, one of those people who had one of those Ponzi schemes. But yeah, Michael, I think many people are aware that she was arrested, and there is this sort of now, who is she
Mhm.
going to point the
Just
finger
now.
at? Thank you, Alicia. It's not fingering, it's pointing the finger at. It's Ghislaine, not Giselle. Thank you.
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine, that is quite correct. And
Ghislaine.
how do you pronounce that name? Ghislaine? Ghislaine?
Ghislaine.
It's French, Ghislaine, I would imagine. Okay, Jim May has pointed out some other conspiracy theories. What about Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster? And the Loch Ness Monster was something that I had
That's-
actually...
There's been pictures the guys posted recently of Loch Ness Monster. He's got pictures of it, and it is a big sea creature, whatever that is.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you'll have to go look
Why
at
are you
it. I remember
shaking
where I
your
saw
head like
it. Huh?
Why are you shaking your head like this? Well,
I don't know. I just,
you don't believe it.
there's certain. I mean, it's possible a prehistoric creature lives under the sea, eats plants and fish.
Okay, has anyone heard the thing about
The yellow submarine.
Florida and the meth addict crocodiles? The crack addict crocodiles. I'm not sure.
Crack addict croc. No, I haven't heard that one.
Hey, that's a tongue twister. Say that 3 times fast. Crack addict crocodiles. 3 times, quickly.
Crack addict crocodiles. Crack addict crocodiles. Crack addict crocodiles.
Okay,
I almost
Talk
think it
it.
on the last one.
talkers, give that a bash.
That's the hard one.
Brian says if you put a politician in a pyramid overnight, there won't be any sharper in the morning.
Well, the plane landed safely. I don't think there was a plane. He jumped out of the plane in a parachute. The plane didn't crash, right?
What do you mean there wasn't a plane? If you jumped out of a plane, how was there no plane? David?
No. He jumped out of the plane. The plane didn't crash. The plane flew on.
Right. But they found pieces of the parachute and they found evidence that he had jumped out. But the enduring mystery continues.
Yep.
What happened to DB Cooper? All right. And then, okay, Athena, I want to tell you something interesting. Did you know, by the way, I have a very, very rare blood group. It's rhesus negative, which I actually belong to a group of rhesus negative. And it really means that it doesn't have the rhesus factor, the rhesus monkey factor in my blood. And there are some theories that we are the descendants of either angels or aliens. People say that we're very, very rare. So that in itself is a bit of a conspiracy theory. I've done a lot of research. David, stop.
I want to say things, but
What do you want to say? Go ahead.
Hey, they're good there's good angels and bad angels. That's all I'm saying. Brian says, no, if you put the politician in the pyramid overnight, they won't be any sharper in the morning.
You know, folks, this is a perfect proof. It's not a conspiracy theory that David doesn't listen, because I just read that exact same comment.
What's that?
You asshole.
Did you read that? Was I cut off or something?
Oh, Jim just mentioned the Bermuda Triangle. Let's not forget about that. That was a great one. And then,
yeah,
what about the Philadelphia experiment? Ever heard about that?
Isn't that real?
Where they made this whole ship disappear, and it disappeared out of the water. They even saw the indent in the water, apparently, because they were working on trying to create invisibility, radar invisibility. But anyway, whatever happened, I read the book on the Philadelphia experiment. This ship disappeared, leaving an indent in the water, and then reappeared somewhere else. Something to that effect. Does anyone out there know about?
I don't know. No, maybe I think it's some other experiment. Actually, you can make things disappear, but it's high heat. They actually can make a tank or vehicles disappear.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Through the eyes.
He said, who do you think funded Bill Gates when he was just a startup? It was D.B. Cooper.
Well, Jeffrey Epstein, maybe. There's pictures of him and them together hanging
Isn't it
out.
interesting that since the beginning of time, I think there have been these conspiracy theories and mysteries. But one of the other subjects that we were going to talk about today is brainwashing and indoctrination. And let's face it, that has also been happening since the beginning of time. Whole nations have been fooled. We spoke about Hitler's Nazi Germany, South Africans. I lived in South Africa for many years, and there was a lot of propaganda going on there that people didn't know the truth. And there is a lot of that happening here in America today. So we are definitely being fed information by the media, and depending on what media you watch is what you're going to believe. So I guess the message we want to put out there.
Actually, if I could set the record straight about Bill Gates, he actually started a company in New Mexico called Microsoft, and he didn't get funded through them. He actually got funded through IBM, which gave him like $30,000 for an operating system. And that's how he kind of got started. And eventually that operating system was not like Windows. It's an operating system for the IBM compatible computer. So there's no conspiracy. He wasn't like funded like
Michael Kelly was poking fun at it. That was a joke.
Well, so was Epstein. I just wanted to set it straight that it's not any type of conspiracy. He actually, he didn't get a bunch of money from nothing. So till he sold, like Windows 95 took off.
Well, thank you for putting us all straight about how that all happened. Okay, so now
Amelia Earhart, where'd she go?
Yeah, well, I don't know. And they actually recently had an article somewhere that I read about the fact that they had actually discovered that she had somehow crashed and was on an island. There was evidence that she had actually made it to some sort of deserted island and died there. Who knows?
Good. Hopefully of old age.
I don't think so.
Oh, I hope she would die in the
What do you believe, folks? What do you believe? What happened to Amelia Earhart? And Michael Kelly says, what a buzzkill. I agree.
Michael Kelly says buzzkill. All right, Epstein and Bill Gates.
Okay. Luffy is like Mr. Spock, not Dr. Spock, Mr. Spock.
Dr. Spock, I think it is. Mr. Spock?
Mr. Spock. The one in Star Trek, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, he is. He's such a buzzkiller.
I'm a truth seeker.
Janelle's going into the political arena, so Janelle, we
Democrats
actually,
thought Republicans were brainwashed by Russia to not vote for Hillary.
We're going to stay off that sticky subject because you know what? This is something that
D.B. Cooper funded the Black Panthers. I guess so.
Okay.
It was Hoover who actually created a group.
Oh
called-
my God. Oh my God.
All right, I'll stop.
Oh, please stop it.
I
Oh, all right.
don't
So
want to
now-
be.
Point is, there are conspiracy theories wherever we look. And how do we know? So I want to just finish this section off because we're going to get to play our game. David and I are going to test your knowledge out. There have been conspiracy theories since the beginning of time. There has been a lot of brainwashing by the media. There has been snake oil salesmen. In fact, David and I personally know one who
We do know a snake oil salesman.
we do know one, and we were both fooled by this dude. And what do you know? But recently came up with the fact that his product / service actually cures COVID. What do you know? Like it does everything, literally. You're on Talk Talk with that handsome dude over there drinking out of our Talk Talk cup, David Lofi, with his perfectly coiffed hair, and Shanti Niven. And we appreciate your support. Thank you for being a talker. And please, if you're a talker, talk about us, share the news, tell people about us, and get other people to join our group. The more the merrier. And most importantly, go to realtalktalk.com and click the join now button. If you're not a member, you better become a member. Otherwise,
And what are we doing?
trouble.
We're a group having fun here. Group about communication, open communication. I think we've lost all the fun in this country by not talking about stuff anymore and being fair about stuff and being able to have a communication and then not get all angry and just have fun, enjoy life.
People get so angry over such little things. So let me also give people
Wait, what? I can't believe you said that.
Shut up. Stop talking to me like that, you. Okay, Talk. We now got a little tough on Talk. So Real Talk, the group you're on right now, we are now going to kind of toughen up and clamp down on those meanies that name call and attack others. If you attack people, you're going to get deleted. So if you really feel like ranting and raving and they're talking conspiracy theories or sharing politics or religion or whatever, go to what used to be known as Talk Uncensored. Now what's it called?
Well, did you change it?
I did today. It's called Talk.
Oh. Up, left. What are you doing? Jeez, you can't do that on the it. Stop that! God, gee, this is a kid's show. Jesus
What do you think
Christ.
I'm doing?
I don't know what you're doing. It doesn't
Unplugged.
look right, though. I gotta tell you that. That's all right.
Unplugged. For heaven's sake, what the heck do you think I was doing? Go to Talk Unplugged, and there you can unplug. You can take the.
It looked like you weren't plugging anything. I'll tell you that.
I was using the unplugger and unplugging the blocked sink.
Stop.
The plunger.
The plunger.
You've got a filthy mind. You need a bit of
Could be called Talk Plunger.
plunging of your mind. It's called Talk Unplugged. So if you guys need to go and have a rant and a rave or talk politics or bitch and moan and complain, you go to Talk Unplugged. If you want to be nice.
Yeah, Talk Unplugged.
Right.
Oh my God.
We've got no time to play our game, so let's get onto our game straight away.
Okay.
guys?
Ready? I'll start. We may not be able to finish mine.
Okay, go.
10 minutes. I'm going to share screen.
Okay. All right, let me let you share the screen. Wait, I was about to share my screen. Okay, wait a minute. There we go.
Okay, first one. RoboCop is a depiction of Jesus Christ. The movie RoboCop. Have you ever seen that? So everybody, I want you to choose. There will be a prize at the end of this. So choose.
RoboCop
Was RoboCop a depiction of... I can't see the chat anymore. You're going to have to look at it.
Okay, so yeah, I'll look
Are we
at it.
getting
Michael
answers?
Kennedy says, yeah, Shani, that's not appropriate. Okay, RoboCop
We're
is
gonna
about Jesus Christ. I'm going to vote that that's false.
Violent and profanity-filled 1987's RoboCop is, it's not immediately obvious that it might actually be a story about a Christ figure. However, after its release, several theories began to develop and emerge about the parallels between the cyborg police officer
Could you
and
turn it up a bit?
and they turned out to be true. RoboCop is about Jesus. Ignoring the Detroit setting and the aforementioned violence and profanity, it actually makes a lot of sense. RoboCop is
Does that
about
help?
a man who was brutally executed, then comes back from the dead to save people from evil. It wasn't until 2010, however, that the movie's director, Paul Verhoeven, confirmed this theory. Verhoeven said that the entire point of RoboCop is that it's a Christ story.
Wow, I was wrong for once.
True. All right, you ready for the next one?
Sure, okay, I'm ready.
Is the government spying on you?
I don't think so. People think Alexa's spying on us. I don't think the government's spying on us. What do you think, guys? Do you think it's true or false?
Is the government
Is the government
spying on
spying on us?
you? Mm-hmm.
Actually, you know what? I think that they spy on you if you're suspicious. So if you are like David Lofi, for example, they're definitely spying on David Lofi.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Yeah,
I need my hat. Can you see me? I forgot to put my hat on, so they can't.
Okay,
don't
guys,
wanna
is
know.
that true or false? Is the government
Okay.
spying on us?
Here we go.
PRISM. NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden dropped a bombshell on conspiracy hounds and regular folks
Heard of this
alike
guy?
in mid-2013. His revelations were vast and wildly complex, but here's the only thing that matters. The U.S. government has been spying on its citizens for years. Yes, plural, years. The big writhing of this can of worms was PRISM, a secret espionage program under which the NSA had been monitoring the digital communications of American citizens. With PRISM, the government can pull private user data from companies like Google, Microsoft, and Apple. The agency had also been collecting detailed phone records from the public since 2001, intercepting millions of text messages.
The answer is true.
Wow. I don't feel safe anymore.
I don't either. Okay, here's the next one. Do you know the movie Harry Potter?
Right. I don't trust this anymore. What's going on now? Yes, I know. Of course, I know the movie Harry Potter. Who doesn't?
Okay, do you know who Dumbledore is? The
Yes.
leader, big beard, right? Dumbledore in Harry Potter is actually death. Oh, should be speaking here, but you're over there. I should move you. Dumbledore is death. True or false?
I'm going to shut up now and ask others what they think. Do you think that's true or false that Dumbledore is deaf? We've got 5 minutes.
Okay, we're gonna go. Dumbledore's death. The answer right here. This one's a little bit longer, so.
Is death. Hermione tells Harry the tale of the three brothers, a fable that explained the Deathly Hallows and followed three brothers who came across the living embodiment of death whilst trying to cross a river. Feeling cheated that the brothers used magic to cross, Death gave them gifts for outsmarting him. The oldest brother received a powerful wand, for which he was murdered for when he reached town. The next brother received a stone that gave him the ability to bring back his dead lover, whose ghost disappeared as soon as she was revived, resulting in that brother ending his life to join her. The youngest, more humble brother received an invisibility cloak to hide from death until it was time to die. When that time came, he went willingly with him as an old friend. As a result of that, a theory suggested that the brothers represented characters in the Harry Potter series. Voldemort being the first brother who died for power, Severus Snape being the brother who died for his long-lost love, and Harry Potter being the third who greeted death like an old friend. Another theory suggested death might be Dumbledore, as he ended up meeting Harry in the afterlife and possessed the Elder Wand, Stone, and the Invisibility Cloak throughout the series. J.K. Rowling herself chimed in tweeting, "Dumbledore is death." It's a beautiful theory, and it fits. While that doesn't 100% confirm the theory, Rowling is saying that works for me, and that is good enough for us.
Bam!
Bam.
Dumbledore is death.
But she says that works for her. She doesn't mean it's true. It's a theory.
All right,
Okay.
so this one's a little bit different. And how we're going to do this one.
We have 3 minutes.
All right. Does David have a mansion with naked 21-year-olds running around, and he bought them all white Mercedes, and that's why he bought his ex a white Mercedes?
All right,
Is
I've
that
heard about that.
true?
That he has a Playboy kind of mansion with a bunch of naked 21-year-olds running around, and that he bought his ex-wife a white Mercedes because, well, it was only fair. He had all these other
Right.
girls had them,
Here's
right?
the mansion. Here's proof. Here's the mansion.
Oh my God. But hey, wait a minute. Wait a minute.
21-year-olds.
Wait, that mansion looks familiar.
Yeah, it does. And there's the white Mercedes.
Is it true or not, folks?
Is it true or not? Is it true or not? What is the answer?
know
The
the truth.
answer is
False.
false. The answer is false. All right, here we go.
That was a claim made by your ex-wife, right?
It was made by my ex-wife. I got a flu in it. Come on. Was
We're not criminals or thugs. We are, well,
does
romantics.
Anonymous
Human
exist?
beings. Idealists who want to
Yes,
see us.
anonymously.
This guy says he is
Roman Williams
anonymous.
a young computer
He's one of
entrepreneur
Anonymous.
And a proud member of Anonymous, a movement striving to reclaim freedom of expression in the internet era. He agreed to be interviewed without a mask.
Saying that you don't need your communications to be private because you're not a criminal is similar to saying you don't need freedom of speech because you have nothing to
I thought that
say.
was significant.
Anonymous is a name. Anyone can call themselves anonymous. You can't really tell whether they're good or evil. The dark web is a place mainly used to find codes.
It's not a crime.
In the dark web, the answer is true on that one. Now the last one. Was Jeffrey Epstein murdered? Did you see who he was with?
If you say that it's true, how do we know it's true?
Did you
say-
see who he was with? Who's this guy?
Oh my gosh, Bill Gates.
It's Bill Gates. The other guy's another. All three of the, all the four of the on the left are all like important people. So that one I'm not gonna say is true or not.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say it's out there. Do I take the hat off now?
Yep.
Did you see my wires? I got wires in there.
Really.
Yeah.
We have a minute left. So I'm going to share something with you, a little story. In Southern Africa, African people, the native African people, most specifically those who have a background of either Xhosa or Zulus, are very afraid of a hairy dwarf-like creature that apparently comes in at night and eats their toes.
Wow.
And it's called the tokoloshi. As a result, many African people put their beds up on a number of bricks, so they go really high up because the tokoloshi is so short.
Oh, of
And
course.
they really are deathly afraid of the tokoloshi.
You don't want chocolate to eat your toes. It's
Right.
always
No, you
good.
don't want a tokoloshi to eat your toes because that's called tokoloshi toes, right? And you're toast. So tell me, is that true or is that false?
True. The chocolate. I sleep on a bed that's raised.
Right. Well, you know what? David Lofi is correct. That is a true story. The tokoloshi, well, I don't know if the tokoloshi actually exists. Apparently, the legend came about when Africans used to sleep on the floor these sort of mud huts, and they'd have these fires that the carbon dioxide would suck all the oxygen out and people would die in these huts. And so this theory came about the tokoloshi. Where the eaten toes came from, I have no idea. But anyway, very often conspiracy theories have their roots in some form of fact. Something happens, an explanation is created, and we have an interesting story. It's all about stories, isn't it?
Like the earth being round. You know what time it is?
I know. It's time to say goodbye. So
Oh,
thank
we
you for
lost a
joining
few
us.
minutes during the show.
Thank you for joining us, guys. Thank you. Want to have a wonderful conspiracy-filled week, and let's see what happens to Ghislaine.
Yeah. Put some stories out there on our page. Let's talk about them.
Share your stories and let's
Yeah.
talk.
Let's stay at the political.
All you do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All you do is talk, talk. Talk, 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 talk. All you do is talk, talk.
Bam! Thank you, guys. Bye.